Hello, EAPers. Welcome to our webinar this morning, or I guess this afternoon if you're on the East Coast or Central. Today we're going to be talking about editing the homepage. So that should be something that is kind of relevant to a lot of our users. Obviously, everybody wants to have a beautiful looking homepage, but also we have developed some new features in the last, gosh, I would say 6 months that maybe some people just don't know about. So that's why we're gonna, just kind of go over that here today. I think that this will be a nice refresher, even if you are a long-time EAPer. So yeah, let's kind of get right into it. I am going to send you my screen share. Let's adjust it so it's looking nice for everybody. All right. Okay, so everybody, I think, probably knows how to edit the homepage, but perhaps you haven't seen the new things in our homepage editor. So let's go take a look at those straight away. I have here a brand new Easy Agent Pro website. Literally just made it this morning. We're using one of our newer homepage templates. So I'm going to show you how fast, how easy it is to edit your homepage here using the new tools. I'm going to be using one of our newer templates here. Let me refresh my page. So if you're a Lead Sites Ultimate or above user, there is a brand new template called Agent Snapshot. This is the template that we're going to start with here today. Editing, showing you the new options here. So it's called the WYSIWYG editor. It sounds fancy. It means what you see is what you get. And what that's going to allow you to do is a multitude of things. You're going to be able to add, color into your titles. You'll be able to add code onto your page if you wanted to do that. Instead of displaying like a title, you can perhaps, display a YouTube video in these sections. So let's go take a look at this template. The design here is brand new, as I mentioned. It's going to have a nice video playing in the background. You're going to have two CTAs up on the top that you can update. You can feature yourself here or an agent on your team if you're a brokerage and you want to perhaps provide agent websites to your users. This is great for that. Has a lot of CTAs here for whatever you want to add, and then we're gonna have the options to display some stats. This was one of our users actually had us build this template because they wanted to do just that. And then down below, we're going to have our reviews. So right now, this looks, just basic, pretty much like what you would expect for one of our templates. However, you can really get kind of crazy with what you want to do here on your templates. So for example, let's see, I'm going to grab a video here on my other screen. So forgive me. So what I can do is I can open up this button here, and that's going to open up the what's called the WYSIWYG editor. So that's going to allow you to, add space here. I can say Eugene Allen was here. If I can type. And before, this just wasn't possible. We couldn't add, line breaks on a lot of the sections on our templates. Now, with the WYSIWYG, that is definitely possible. Let me actually add a shortcode in here so that you can get an idea of what the IDX is going to look like. Forgive me, I probably should have had IDX turned on this website. But now you're getting a little bit of a peek into the curtain here at Easy Agent Pro. That's how we do this for our users. So let's refresh the page here. I saw Stan in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on some California IDX. Hi, Stan. Nice to see you here. All right, so I'm going to really quickly go add in let's do San Diego, because I have family in San Diego. We'll just copy that short code right in there. And previously, we already added some information here into the WYSIWYG editor, so that should show up accordingly. Now, if we refresh our page, we're going to have our nice IDX section here and see how it says featured properties. Eugene was here. You probably wouldn't want to do that necessarily, but you can. You know, I can add a bunch of text into this title section if I really wanted to. And I think that's kind of cool. One of the other options here is that you can, so I'm going to go back into the WYSIWYG editor here. And I know I'm clicking around kind of fast. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can always pause and rewind. This is going to be archived later on, so you can view it later. But I'm going to click this middle button here now. And what that's going to do, that's going to open up my code editor. So I mentioned before you can add code to a lot of these sections on your homepage now. So if I wanted to embed a video, for example, in that title section, I am going to refresh my page. And now the webinar, this is going to be a little bit of an inception moment here. I just heard myself talk. That was weird. But yeah, see, look, I have the webinar streaming right on my homepage, which I think is kind of cool. You can do that if you want. I know that we have a lot of users that are that do webinars, that do live events. This is a great way to feature that. I don't know that you would necessarily want to put it right here on this section right here, but you know, you could if you really wanted to. That's how the WYSIWYG editor is giving way more flexibility than was previously available on our platform. So the other aspect that I wanted to highlight, because I just don't know that a lot of people know about this, we have added new designs also in the header and footer section. So here is the template for that. The one that I am speaking on is called the transparency menu. So again, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page here. And see how this menu now is a transparent menu and it just kind of follows me down the page. It was just like a 2-second thing to change the template, but it gives my website an entirely different look. I really do like this template, the transparency menu. It looks really nice on most homepage templates. So yeah, it's really great addition in my opinion. One other thing I would like to highlight here, because again, I just don't know that a lot of people are taking advantage or know where to change some of these items. But up here, this thing is called header leads. Yes, it appears on your homepage. You would expect it to be in your homepage app, but it's actually going to be in a different section. I'm going to go into my apps section here. I'm going to open up header leads. So this is going to give you the opportunity to edit the look and the feel of that pop-up banner on the very, very top of your website. So here where it says, get a free home evaluation, let's do it. This is going to allow you to, either turn it off if you don't like it. A lot of people actually will turn it off with the transparent menu for whatever reason. They just don't like them conflicting with each other. So that's an option that you can have, or I'm going to turn it on. There's different options for the feel, the design of this as well. So I'll choose this one because this is probably my favorite with a little visual flair. We'll see that in a second. So let's go ahead and promote this webinar. See the new EAP homepage webinar. Now, if I can spell. And then, so let's change the button link. So this is going to be the CTA here where it says, let's do it. I changed this already first where it says, get a free home evaluation. Let's watch. And then I'm going to go over to my other screen and grab the URL that we want to point to, because you can basically change it to any URL. I'm going to have the option here to open in a new tab. Usually that's recommended if you want to click away from your website. That is what you'll want to do, is open in a new tab so your website stays open in the other tab. And then a couple options here. So header leads, cookies. This is going to be how long should this stay in the user's browser if they click away from it. So you can actually click away from header leads. And then if the user comes back, let's say, in 7 days, you can have it still clicked away if you want that option. We, by default, have always show, so it just kind of pops up if they navigate to another section. But you have that option there. And then, of course, we already talked about turning header leads on and off. So let's go ahead and save this one. I'll refresh my page. And yeah, I have a new header leads template. See how it has a little visual flair there? Change the button text. If I were to click it, it's going to open up the webinar that we are on right now. But I'm going to close it real quick because I don't want to hear myself talking. So yeah, that is the long of the short of it. But I want to highlight something in case maybe you are a power user, I guess, because you really can do some cool stuff here. So let me, and everybody can be a power user with ChatGPT, by the way. I'm going to show you exactly how we can do that. So let's say that I want to have an image, like this image in a section, and I want it to be responsive because, well, I'll show you what I mean. If I just add this image in to the home page in that section, okay, I'm going to go into this section where I manipulated before. Okay, so here is the WYSIWYG editor again. This is going to be an option to add an image, right? Very easily add an image to your page. But there's going to be a problem, and we'll see that here in a second. My name is Eugene. So this is going to show up in that title section that we were just showing previously. So when I refresh my page, there's the image. And here's that other image that I just told to go on the page. See how it's huge, though? And see how it says, like, my name is Eugene, and it has like a huge image here. Well, we would probably want to make this what's called responsive for this section. And so what you can do is we can go into ChatGPT and basically ask it to do that for us. So let's drag over a ChatGPT window here. I'm going to show you my prompt from start to finish. If you're not using ChatGPT, you really should be. It's or some other AI into your workflow. It just kind of like just make things faster, you know. I'm going to use this one because it says it's fast, and this shouldn't be a hard task for ChatGPT. So I have an image I want to add to my website. I need this to be responsive. Can you give me HTML and CSS to use for this, please? I like to be polite to my assistants because it seems to make them work better. So I gave it the image that I want to use. I copied this from another window, by the way. And then just like that, it's going to give me the items that I want. So I'm going to grab all of this. It should just kind of work wholesale. I'm going to open up my code editor again. And then I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. And then this is the CSS that you want to use. Here's the rub. You're going to want to wrap this in code. What you're going to want to use for CSS is script. Again, this is maybe a little for advanced users, but hey, right into support if you need help with this. We've got some pretty good support that can maybe walk you through, or if you want us to just do it for you, you know, we can talk about that as well. So let's save. I don't know what this is going to do because I didn't really look at the code. I just assumed that ChatGPT is smart enough to do what I want it to do. And so now it's a little bit better. It should be responsive. Nope, doesn't look like it is. Responsive means when you shrink it, it shrinks with the page. So let's go back to ChatGPT and let's tell it something else. Doesn't look like like this was responsive and it was rather large. Can we reduce the size of the image and make sure that it is responsive for screen size? Okay, let's see what it gives us. Riveting, I know, but that's why we chose the fast one. I'm going to just grab what I need out of here. So let's copy that. I'm gonna put some script tags, or actually, I think that was my problem. I used script tagged and I needed to use a style tag. ChatGPT, my apologies. Okay, so let's try that again. I think it would have worked the first time if I was smart enough. Okay, yeah, it looks like it worked. So see how my image is smaller. If I were to shrink the screen, see how it just kind of like stays nice and centered. That's what the code is that we did and put in there. And again, like, you might not know how to do this, but you might have somebody on your staff that does, or you can pay somebody on Fiverr, or you can pay us. We do stuff like this as well. If you have like really specific requests for your homepage, can kind of do things like that now. That's the beauty of the new WYSIWYG editor. So yeah, we're really excited about what this does for our homepage app, because it just makes things way more customizable. Let me show another template where it's going to have more customization here. So this is going to be our classic template. A lot of people love this template. So I think that this is a good representation here. So now if I go back into the settings, all these, anytime you see these options here, this is going to be where you can go in and change the WYSIWYG editor to, do different things. So like I can add color here now. Let's change that to red. And then Eugene was here. So back over here, it should be manipulating this section here. See how I have this red now, and Eugene was here because I was able to add that line break into the WYSIWYG editor. So yeah, everything is a little bit cooler, I guess you could say. You can add some code here to add maybe like a badge into the top of your page. Maybe you are part of the Better Business Bureau and you have a really good rating or something like that. That's something that you can display there. So yeah, that's kind of the long of the short of it. I'm gonna pause here and see if we have any questions. I know that there's some people watching both on YouTube and Facebook. Let's go look to see if there's anything that I see in chat. Doesn't look like I can yes, this is going to be recorded. You can actually go back to this same YouTube video that you're watching. Or if you're watching on Facebook, I believe that link will also lead to the recording of the podcast, or the webinar rather. We'll also post it onto our socials as well. But yeah, that will be definitely recorded for viewing later on. What else? Do we have any other questions? Well, all right. Well, that was the homepage webinar. Next week, we're going to be back, or I'm sorry, in 3 weeks, we're going to be back doing another webinar. A lot of you have been asking about our CRM, the functionality there within. We're actually partnering with Go High Level now to provide an advanced CRM for our users that we've already developed integrations with into our platform. If you're interested in that, we are giving that away to our users. If you don't already have it, write in a message to support. Tell them that you would like to activate your Go High Level account and we can get you going on that one. And then in 3 weeks time, we'll be back for a tutorial on that one. I believe that one is going to be probably a little bit of a longer webinar just because there's a lot in Go High Level, a lot in Go High Level. You can do forms, you can do text message drip campaigns, regular email drip campaigns. We also have the ability to add in some cool paid features that we'll talk about. So we're really excited about our partnership with Go High Level. It is already integrated into your website. If you already have Go High Level, you can set that up in Pass. And yeah, we will be back then for that one. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, EAPers, non-EAPers, for joining us today. We will see you next time. Thank you.